anybody happens upon this live, there is something still wrong with my trying to do these. I don't know what's going on that's keeping me from setting it up ahead of time. I tried. I had to go off, and I'm going to take that one down because nobody found it. All right, so now I just got a notification that I'm live, and we'll see if you get it as well, and if anybody joins me. If so, that'll be great. And if not, it's another exercise in futility. Ah, somebody made it. I have no clue what is going on. I know I enabled chat, so just let me know who's here. Oh, hi, Barbara. Yeah, this is crazy. I just can't seem to schedule these things ahead of time. I tried, and I was on for 2.5 minutes all by myself. So I figured I would just close it out and try to come on again. I'm going to try to do these as a regular thing on Wednesday nights at 8:30 Eastern Time and see how that plays out, because I think it's a relatively good time, and we'll see. I just don't know if anybody's going to be joining us. So yeah, there were a number of things I wanted to talk about today, but oh, hello. Terrific, terrific, Sandy. Yeah, no, I think if you had an exciting thing, you should. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I can't believe it. Another birthday comes around. It's nice to look forward to them, and it's certainly better than the alternative, maybe. But it's going to be different this year. I don't know, and I haven't heard from the girls, so I'm not sure if I'm going out for lunch tomorrow. I really hope that I am. There was a question that, by the way, did either one of you get a notification earlier that I was going to be doing a live? I did a short saying I was going live, and then I tried to schedule the live ahead of time. So was there anything at all? Hello? Yeah, I don't know. I have a question for you. It's something I had been thinking about. You did? Oh, okay, good. No notification? Make sure that, hi June, make sure that you have your notifications on for my channel so that you do get them, and you have to have it on for all of them, not selective ones. You got both? All right, well, I'm glad at least that part of it worked. Eventually, I'm going to have to do something about the phone, but for right now, hi, Alyssa. I just don't know. All right, my question of the day. What made you smile today? What one thing can you think about off the top of your head that made you smile? Whether you had a good day or a bad day, what? No, the chat is not doing it again? I have no idea. I'm going to have to try to contact them and see if they can help me find a solution. Hi. Oh, great. I'm glad to see that some people are able to get in now. All right. So again, the question of the day is, what made you smile today? And the thing that made me think about it, your cat, I think often your friends, I think often it is our furry family or our friends or somebody just doing something unexpected, your standard poodle. I think often it is our furry family, no question about it. I have to tell you, I was watching, as I often do, some shorts and some videos about dogs who have been abused and have been helped by where people rescued them. I am so outraged and astounded by the fact that people can do that. And I know it's probably crazy to even think that way. The kids are in Greece and you're smiling. Oh, that's a good thing, Sandy. The thing that made me smile today was I was in the car and I was driving down a little bit of a busier street, not busy, but like a secondary road. And all of a sudden, the traffic came to a stop. Oh, that's nice, Barbara Ann. Yeah, putting out the fresh water for the birds and watching them splash around. That's great. So I noticed what stopped the traffic dead. Yeah, I don't think so. I wish I had her talent and certainly, well, I shouldn't say her life because one never knows what somebody else's life is like. But it was a family of geese walking across the street. I love to watch them. I really love to watch them because when you see them crossing, they're so deliberate, and they have. Your daughter in New York went into the city with his son. Cost her $309. That's not surprising, unfortunately. The prices of so many things are crazy. But anyway, watching these, I wished I could have taken a little video of it. It was amazing. It was really amazing. They have one of the parents, whether it's the mother or the father, I'm not sure. One of them is the lead goose, and yeah, and one of them, is pulling up the rear. So it's so great to watch them. And it's the one time, most of the time, when people just stop willingly and they just it's what they do, and we kind of tolerate it. For me, I feel as if I'm watching something so beautiful and such a natural thing that they just do. It's just part of who they are. It's kind of like watching the swan families and all the little ones together in a group. It's such a wonderful thing. I think humans could learn so much from them. It really is beautiful. But the other side of the coin, and what I was talking about before, was the fact that there are so many people who willfully injure animals or or just don't take care of them or are cruel to them in one way or another. And they're just so full of love. I don't understand it, and I can't imagine doing that. I can't imagine not wanting to have them have a wonderful life because they're loving just because. Oh, okay. There are sick, evil people out there, and I don't know what motivates them. But then again, I watch crime shows, and I'm always amazed by the segment of the population that can be so cruel, that can have no regard for another human being or human life, have no empathy. I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't know. And when I was thinking about what made me smile, and I was thinking about it as a general thing, that I think we should think about the one thing that made us smile today, or even better, what one thing did we do that made somebody else smile? Wouldn't that be a gift? Because life can be so tough sometimes. Just getting through a day can be really hard for people often. It's It's not easy. I watch motivational things that a lot of my friends put out every day. They are June. They are kind and loving, and we're so blessed to have them in our world. And I don't know. For me, if I had the ability, hi Caroline, welcome. Or do you prefer Carolyn? Let me know which. Um, if I if I had the time, and if I were in better physical shape, I would love nothing better at this point to be able to, oh, okay, to be able to go to shelters and sit with some of the dogs. I've talked to you before, I think, about this guy called Rocky Kanaka. He is an absolutely incredible human being who has set out to help animals and to help them get rescued one by one. And he does what he calls sitting with dogs. So he works largely with one specific shelter out in California, but he does work with others as well. And he has saved so many animals. They have gone from some of them very close to not making it to having, in the end, very often, wonderful lives. Do you watch him, Sandy? I think he's such a special person. I would love to be able to do a little bit of that. I think I certainly could volunteer a little bit of my time to, although I don't have a whole lot of time with all the things I have to do, but if I could get into the places and also sit with the animals and see if perhaps, by people seeing video of them, that it could make a difference. People who rescue animals are on a much different level than most people. I think it's such a gift. Carolyn, we all have gifts to share, and if only we can do it to the best of our ability. Oh my God, you're so right, Barbara. Barbara's saying, I just hate when someone's talking about an awful person and they say they're like an animal. So far from the truth. That is absolutely true. Even abused animals, when they are rescued, how often they are just so loving to the people who rescue them. I was watching one tonight. It made me want to cry. That dog was almost dead. It had apparently gotten away from its owner somehow, and it came to this woman's door, and she wound up taking it in and taking it to the vet. The vet said it has significant kidney problems. Yeah, Rocky Kanaka. Very significant kidney problems because of the starvation that he was suffering. His ribs were so far out, his stomach, it was so sucked in, he had no strength. When he finally got to the door of his savior, he collapsed. But I didn't get to see the whole thing because I had to get ready to come on here. But I felt as if she saved a life. I mean, she saved a life. And how wonderful for that dog to now have a new start and to know what normal can be like. It's so wonderful. On the Rocky Kanaka thing, I think it's amazing. He has that farm now, and he sells coffee. He grows coffee beans, I guess, and he sells coffee, and he sells shirts with the dog stuff on it. Really adorable stuff. And he spends so much money helping those dogs, the ones who are really, really in bad shape. Thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for surgeries and rehabilitation that they need. It's an amazing thing. Sandy, I believe he had had a stroke a number of years ago. He's a young man, and he really suffered. And for him to take his life and whatever he's been through, and to be able to translate it into this incredible service, I think it's a gift. I mean, I have always had an affinity for animals, but especially dogs. My girlfriend Mary, the laws need to be stiffer for people who abuse animals. Carolyn, I'm with you 100% on that. They really do need to be. They needed the animals. They need to be treated with. They deserve. I don't know. I don't want to say more care. They just they deserve to have justice when inhumanity comes into their lives. It's such a bad thing. And I just, if there were anything that I could do, if there were anything that we could do collectively as a group, how wonderful would that be? Just saving any one animal. It's just one at a time. My girlfriend Mary used to call me the Mother Teresa of the canine set. I have always been saving dogs when I was able to, from the time I was a really young woman. When I saw one on the street, I would always stop my car and I would pick them up and see if I could find out who they were or who they belonged to, or if they didn't, if I could help them. Or even when I was not able to take one in because of my living situation, I still gave them what I could and tried to get them through the next day or two or three until something else could happen for them. At the time when I was much, much younger, I really didn't realize all the things that were available to me to use to help them. Sandy's saying on Animal Channel there was Rocky Mountain doctor and his wife in Denver that wasn't greedy and provided service for all kinds of animals at low cost. I think that's a great thing. And the vet that I wound up with, I think I told the story when Ruby was sick, and I had taken her to 3 different vets, and each one of them charged a fortune. I went, first one I went to was local, and they had just come into the area, and they had a coupon that said $100 off the first visit if you booked the visit online. So I did that, and I brought her in, and I thought, well, let me see what's wrong with her. And I knew it was serious. She was bleeding, and I was really very, very worried. I brought her in, they examined her, and they did a little blood work. With the $100 off, it came to over $500 that I had to pay them that day. And they said it turned out she had pyometra, and that was my fault for not having her neutered when she was young. But I didn't do it because I knew that I was keeping her safe and that I wouldn't have to worry about it. But I didn't realize the negative implications of that. I didn't realize that I was harming her by doing that. I would, if I could turn back time. I mean, how often do we say that in our lives? If we could only turn back time. But I wound up taking her to several different vets, and one was more expensive than the other. I got prices from 45 to 6,500 from the first vet I went to, and that was just for the surgery. That was not for having her in the hospital. It was not for the after surgical care. It was just for the surgery itself. And I said, I don't have that kind of money. I can't do it. So I then went to another place that he recommended, and they were, I mean, much, much worse. They were anywhere from 8,500 to 12,000 something. And that one wound up leaving her there overnight because they were going to do other tests, and there was no way I could have them do the surgery. But they were going to do other tests to see what else was going on or to fine tune it. I don't remember the exact ramifications of the tests. But the next morning I had to get her, and I did find out about, it's called Grady Animal Hospital in Sayville on Long Island. And the the vet who started it, apparently, he was determined to give care to the animals and do it at a price that was going to be low enough for a lot of people to be able to afford it, and at the same time doing it at a price that he could afford to do it and still function. So it was a really wonderful thing. They wound up doing the surgery there, and they did tell me that they don't have 24-hour care. So that was a concern because she was going to be there and nobody was there overnight. But they told me that they had never lost a dog that way from this. And I really didn't have many choices. So if I didn't have the surgery for her, they said she would die within 24 to 48 hours. So I did have it. They wound up doing the surgery. I want to say it was something like 2,300 something or something close to that. And I was so grateful for it. And I wound up getting care credit so that I was able to make payments on it and get it done for her. She was, she was much better. I mean, she completely healed, thank God. And I had some really good time with her. I wound up taking Bailey there also, and of course I had the terrible time with him where he wound up dying there on, I think it was October 28th, when she was back in there, and that was when she had the flea meds just went up. I know, everything has gone up, everything. $32 a pill, that's really scary stuff. Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard. Anyway, I'm happy to say that thank God for right now, and please God let it stay that way. Ruby is doing well. I'm going to be doing, I just got a gimbal because I want to do some videos that do some tracking, so that I want to do a video of me trying to groom her. It could be a disaster. It may show you how incompetent I am, but I want to try because she needs to be done. I really can't get it done. So I'm gonna give it a go and see how it works. I have to figure it out though. I've watched a couple of videos. This is what it looks like, and it's a rather impressive little thing. Yeah, it's, I mean, I got an incredible deal on this, so I'm hoping that it enables me to do the kind of videos that I think you would enjoy. So I'm going to try to figure it out. I have watched the videos. It looks relatively simple, but I feel as if the older I get, the longer it takes for me to assimilate the same information that I could have gotten like that just a few years ago. I don't know about the rest of you, but that is a problem for me. I'm going to change the subject to something indelicate for a moment, but I think it's real life, and I think it's something that a number of us can suffer from as we get older. And I was out today, and when I came, I tend to, I consider myself like a camel when it comes to having to urinate. I can usually go for hours and hours and hours. But since I've had my surgeries, and since I don't know if it's scar tissue, I don't know if it's whatever is pressing on my bladder. I'm not sure what it is, but things are not always the same. And I found more than once that I get back to the house. Now I have 12 steps in front of my house, so it takes a minute. occasionally, on very rare occasions, thankfully, I don't make it. And, there is that little bit of an issue. So I just wanted to mention that. I think other people have suffered from that as well. Oh, yeah, this is a really exciting topic because I can see people leaving in droves. But it is what it is. Yeah, it's really, it's a little bit disconcerting, especially for me right now, because if I'm going to try to make deliveries, I really don't want to have a huge stain on my rear end or elsewhere. Funny story connected to that. I had gone in to this is a few years ago. I had gone into King Supermarket, which is a lovely upscale supermarket in Garden City. And exactly, Sandy, you feel that urge and pressure. So I went in there and I was going to order something from their deli. They have wonderful food in that place. So I went in there and there was a man standing there ahead of me online, and the back of his pants were soaked. They were absolutely soaked. And I thought, I didn't know how he could not know, but I thought perhaps he didn't know. So I went over to him gently and I said to him, you might want to, if you have maybe a shirt or a sweater or something that you can tie around your waist, you do have a stain on your pants. He said, oh, I know. He said, that's no problem. I'll take care of it later. And I thought, okay, then. I really couldn't do that. The interesting thing also is that I have from time to time gotten offers from different companies wanting to partner with me on their product or wanting me to do a review of their product or whatever. And one of those was a company that makes pads that I actually never got to do the video because that was, he knew Barbara, and I thought I was really trying to help him. Yeah, they do have underwear supposedly that does help. They do it. I don't know if it's Temu that's also sells that stuff or Amazon. I don't remember, but I did see. And somebody advertised theirs as not the ugliest panties in town or something like that. So I thought it was funny. But yeah, I mean, it's difficult. It's really difficult. There are so many things that we have to deal with as we get older. But anyway, this company had sent me, I think it might be made of bamboo. I never got a chance to do the video for them because it was around the time that I was having issues with the tumor. And I was just unable to do it at the time. But I do have the pads. No, 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 regular underwear. It's not disposable. They're selling ones that are not disposable that I don't know whether you put a pad in it or the way it's made. I'm not sure how that works. But anyway, I'm gonna try that. I never did try those pads, and I'm going to try it. And again, they're washable. What makes me think that it might be a really good thing is I went from, this is a great segue, I went from the wee wee pads for Ruby as she started to not feel as well. And after apparently she had fallen down the steps, she fell down the steps when Ken was here with her after I had my surgery, and I didn't know about it right away because he'd forgotten to tell me. And she just didn't want to go out that much. I could not see buying wee wee pads constantly. They're very expensive. I also felt like I could break my neck on it because they would sometimes slide a little bit, and she would often pee on the edge of it, and then it would drip off the side of it. So it was a real problem for me. And right after Bailey died, and she had that nystagmus and the vestibular disease, she couldn't walk straight. I mean, her head was flopping over, and she just couldn't walk. I got the washable pads, Sandy. That's what I got. I bought on Amazon. I love them. I absolutely love them. I wound up getting, it looks like it could be like little area rugs. As a matter of fact, people who have come into my house have thought that it was an area rug. So it was really, really good. And they're very easy to wash. They don't smell, or if you leave it on the floor too long, it may smell a little. But what I do now is I only leave it down there for a few days. It's very absorbent. It goes through the top layer. It is not wet on top, or if it's wet, it's not wet enough to cause any damage at all. And it doesn't go through the back. It's waterproof in the back. So it's wonderful. And they come out literally looking like new. So I'm so grateful for it because they had recommended when she had that I get a playpen for her, and I get one of these washable pads to put inside the playpen. I could not get the playpen for her because I could not see keeping her separated from me, and I was certainly not going to have the playpen in the living room on the wood floor and the carpet. Yeah, I think the playpens can be great, but because they wanted her to be in it all the time, because again, at the time, her head was flopping over. She couldn't walk. She kept falling over and she would land on her side. And I had to hold her head up. I had to bring the bowl to her for her to be able to eat. But the medication they gave her worked, thank God. And thank God it never came back. So please, God, let it stay that way because she is perfectly fine with that. But the pads have been a godsend. In the beginning, I was taking them out to a commercial laundromat to wash them, but it's very expensive to do that, and it sort of defeated the purpose of having it. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, that's a great idea, Carolyn. Having it in the park or in the backyard. Yeah, that really is good. I was sad at first that Ruby didn't want to go out anymore. She's obviously afraid, and she obviously got really hurt when she fell down the stairs. So, and she's fallen down the stairs more than once. So I am perfectly fine with her not going out if she doesn't choose to. So I don't force her to go out. When she gets up in the morning, she casually goes over to the pad. She does what she has to do, and she's really good about it. And she knows that that's where she needs to go. And the pad that I got for her, that I got the first time, and the reason I got it was for the playpen, is something like 63-inch square. It's huge. But because it's so big, she can she can go on different spots and just, use it that way. Carolyn, you just recently purchased a stroller. Carolyn's saying they love it when you're out for the day and they're tired. I'm 100% with you. Hi, Sandra. Nice to see you. Yeah, I actually had a stroller for Milo when I first got him. The first time I took him out, you need a good tweezer. I don't know what it is, my tweezer, but I love this tweezer. This is my best tweezer ever. It just so happens I have it right here because this is where I do my makeup these days. Doesn't have a name, but it just works so incredibly well. So I'll see if I can find out what it is or whatever. When I had the stroller, I absolutely loved it. It was great for him, and it was a really nice stroller. I think I might still have it in the basement. I really think it might still be in the basement. Yeah, I think it's great. Unfortunately, these days, I could use the stroller more for me. If only she could push me around. That would be a gift. Wow. It's really hard. Yes, it is amazing how many people have strollers. No, it's not Revlon. Oh, Natasha Denona, Tweezerman. I don't have a name on this one, Sandy. I really don't. But I will look to see if I can find out. I think I just found it in a store one day, and it's just really good. There's something about the head of it. What the heck? Oh, there it is. There's something about the head of it that's really, really good. Yeah, a lot of people do have strollers. The reason I got it was unfortunate though, because that day I had gone to meet well, I met my son with my grandson at the mall, and I was going to introduce him to the puppy. And it was a day in August. It was toward the end of August. It was a very hot, steamy day. And all right, I have to tell you why I'm laughing. Sandy said long chin hair, resisting leaving. She might have to curl it. Okay, remind me to come back to this because you're getting me off track. But remember, those of you who are around for a long time with me, remember when I did the shaving video? I wish I had never shaved my face. Although the chin hairs, they just, I think, come with aging. I remember when my aunt came up from Florida, I think it was for my son's wedding. She was in her 80s, and I hadn't seen her in a long time. We used to talk on the phone all the time, but I hadn't seen her, and she looked like a billy coat. I felt so bad. Her hair, come to think of it, I think it was sort of curling a little bit. She had it, yeah, she had lots of hairs coming out of her chin. So I figure the hair that we lose on the rest of our body just, anyway, that and the hair, it was bad. And I wish I had not done it. So it is what it is. But, okay, what was I saying before? Oh, it was about with Milo and how I wound up getting the stroller. I had gone, as I say, to see, it was Zach, my older grandson. He was 6 years old at the time. And he was so excited to see Milo, but I parked at the far end of the parking. It was an outdoor parking garage. By the time I walked into the mall where I was meeting them, I was, oh, good. Jackie just asked me about lunch tomorrow. I'm so glad to be going. My birthday is on Thursday, and I'll be happy to to be doing something to celebrate a little bit. So that'll be nice. Anyway, I wasn't feeling well when I got into the mall. At first, I thought maybe it had to do with the fact that it was so hot, but I was very, very shaky. At first, I thought, thanks a lot, Caroline. At first, I was very shaky, and then I have had ocular migraines. I don't know, I hadn't at that point. That was my first one, I think, or one of the early ones. The way it showed up was that I would see geometric shapes in my eyes, whether my eyes were open or closed, and it was a horrible feeling. I felt like I was going blind, but I felt like I was going to pass out. So my initial feeling was, okay, maybe my blood sugar is low. So they had a kiosk in the mall, and I got both of us some soft serve ice cream. I started to eat it and I didn't feel the tiniest bit better. So I wound up, yeah, that ocular thing is horrible. But I wound up, there was a new store that had all kinds of dog stuff right near the kiosk. So I went in there and I got Milo, the stroller, right then and put him in the stroller because I couldn't walk him. I really thought I was going to collapse and pass out in the mall. I wound up calling my son and telling him he better pick up my grandson because something was wrong with me. And he wound up calling, he was not available, he was not right there. So he wound up calling my daughter-in-law, who was not far away, and she came to the mall to get Zach, and she wound up going with me to the hospital. And I was in the hospital emergency room. Now, the interesting thing is that I was in the emergency room for hours. And I would say for the first maybe half hour to hour, I had the stroller in there with me because she was in with me and nobody could leave him outside alone. And I guess people didn't realize that it was a dog at first. They must have thought it was a little child. So when they found out it was a dog, they kicked her. They kicked her out. So my daughter-in-law had to go outside. I wound up being admitted to the hospital. My blood pressure was through the roof. It was 200 something over 122, as I recall. And they admitted me and they started doing all kinds of tests. I wound up being in the hospital for, I want to say about 8 days. And the day that they told me I was going home, they had done a stress test. And yeah, it was really bad. So the stress test showed that I had a 90% blockage. I'm thinking it was the lower ascending, the LAD, I think, but I'm not 100% sure, but a 90% blockage. So they told me that that I was not going home and that the next day they were going to do an angiogram to see, where the blockage was and what was going on, and to put in, presumably to put in a stent or stents. So I said, no, I'm going home. And they said, no, you're not going home. They said, if you go home, you will be dead within 2 days. You're not going home. So I stayed, obviously. I had the angiogram the next morning. I had never had any kind of surgery. The only thing I ever had been in the hospital for, aside from giving birth, was I had a couple of miscarriages. And I was in the hospital once when it turned out I had CMV, but I had never had surgery. I had never had a procedure like that. So I was nervous about it. And it was a really, really scary time. They did put in a stent. They wound up sending me home. I was on medication. Yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful thing to not have to be in a hospital. And for years and years, I didn't even have any medical coverage because after I left the job at the hospital, or I think it was after I left my job at Sotheby's. No, it was the hospital was after Sotheby's. I just didn't have insurance because I got into real estate and I just couldn't afford it at first. And I was healthy, or so I thought. So after they did the stent, they put me on Plavix, as they do, and I had to be on it. Now, there were two different kinds of stents they used at the time. One was a regular metal stent, and the other one was a drug-eluting stent. Thank God they did not, and he arbitrarily just chose whatever was, I guess, there. Thank God they didn't do the drug-eluting stent because, as it turned out, I had a very bad, I didn't have an allergy to it, but I had a bad reaction to the Plavix. And after about 8 weeks, they finally stopped it. I was getting weaker and weaker and weaker while I was on the Plavix. And I got to the point where when I tried to walk, go anywhere, do anything, each leg felt like it weighed 100 pounds. Lifting my foot just to take a step was really, really hard. So I was very lucky. If they had done the other, I would have had to be on Plavix forever. So it was a wonderful thing that it worked out the way it did. I wound up needing one stent only, and thank God it really served me very well all through the years. But it created a very, very difficult time for me. As a matter of fact, at that point, I couldn't have Milo home right away. So David and Michelle took him and they had him at their house and they kept him locked up in a room because she didn't want to mess in the house. And it was hard. It was hard for him. It was hard for them. It was hard for me. But in the end, everything worked out. And I had him until he died at 14 and a half. So that was a gift. I was really, really lucky with that. I really got down this road. Is there anything special that you folks would like to talk about? Anything special that has come up for you, or anything you're concerned about or have interest in? By the way, this is funny. Remember the last time? Oh, you have? Son of a gun. Okay. Nice to see you, honey. Um, okay, nice to see you. Yeah, I know I have to do my nails, so don't take a look. Um, okay, now totally lost my train of thought. What the heck? Oh, you did make it, Ange, which means you're not sleeping. Happy to see you and happy to see you for your sake. So, yeah. Um, what was I going to tell you? Good grief. You woke her? That's funny. I don't remember what I was going to tell you. Totally lost my train of thought. Doesn't take much. It really doesn't take much. And that's very scary because I have a I have a very, very good memory typically, and it's almost a scary thing. Yeah, oh, thanks, I know. Yeah, I did ask if anybody wanted to talk about anything, but oh, I know what it was. Remember I told you the last time that I had bought this chef's knife because I wanted to continue cooking and I wanted to continue making healthier stuff for myself? I have to tell you, I am loving my sweet potato fries. I am such a big sweet potato fry freak at this point that I could have it 2 or 3 times a week easily. And even though they're still hard as heck to cut through, I can do it with the chef's knife. That first cut, I have to kind of rock the knife to get it through, but I can do it. Well, I'm trying to get stuff done in my house to get out of here. And because I'm doing everything on my own, it's really hard. So I do one project at a time as I am able to do it. The project that I had on hand the other day was cleaning out one of my drawers in the kitchen. And as I took everything out of it, I laughed because it turned out that I have this wooden case in which I have my good flatware. It's not sterling, it's just silver plate, but it's my better flatware. In that box, I have, okay, in that box, I have a whole set of knives that I apparently bought at one point. Isaac Mizrahi, I guess, had partnered with a knife company. I thought they were beautiful, and they really are. I love the knives. Problem was, they were none too sharp. I think so. I wanted to get a sharpener now because with the chef knife, it really is working well, but I want to keep it sharp so that I can use it effectively. And it's working really well for me on so many levels. I've even been able to use it on the skin of the salmon, which has been a nightmare for me to cut through with any of the knives I had before. So I was looking at different sharpeners, and they have some on Amazon, and I was thinking of getting one, but then they had another one that it's called a whetstone. I don't know if any of you are familiar with this. So I asked my expert, my grandson Dylan. I said, do I need a whetstone? And he said, I don't think so. He said, you're not going to be a chef, and you're not going to be using the knife like crazy. So he said you can actually ruin knives with a whetstone if you don't do it at the right angle. So I said, okay. So I'm gonna get one of those the thing, you just hold it and you pull the thing through. Supposedly it's good enough, but we'll see. But I do find I have been eating a little bit healthier since I've been cooking in the air fryer and since I've been preparing my food with the knife, so that's good. There's a salad I want to make also. If it comes out good, I'll let you know the recipe for that. So that was kind of fun for me. And, oh, Ruby sleeps in what used to be Bailey's bed. I mean, it was anybody's bed who wanted it, but Bailey used to sleep in that bed. And the funny thing is, she never did until he died. And then she started sleeping in that bed. So I am still sleeping on my recliner chair because I want her to know that I'm right there with her. I didn't, after she came home from the hospital in October, I started sleeping in the chair because I couldn't have her come into the bedroom. I was afraid that she was going to be having accidents all over the carpeted room. And I just didn't want that. But at the same time, I didn't want her to feel alone. So she has been sleeping right next to me. When I get up in the middle of the night, as I am wont to do, she gets up and she follows me into the bathroom, and sometimes she takes a little walk over to her wee pad, and then we both go back to sleep and see how long the next sleep session will be. So I just, I didn't want, I knew she had been one of three, and she had been one of three since she was 10 weeks old. So she didn't know anything else. When Milo died, she was really sad for a while. And then, of course, when Bailey died and it was just the two of us, I just didn't want her to feel terribly alone. So, yeah, I'm really happy to be with her. I love to see her first thing in the morning when I get up. I've gotten used to sleeping in the chair. Occasionally, I have slept on the sofa, and the sofa is like a really good mattress. It's really, really comfortable. It's narrow compared to a bed, but they do grieve, Caroline, and I just wanted to make her life a little bit easier. I know both our lives were not easy. So, what's at the top? Oh, and I didn't realize what you were saying. So yeah, no, and again, as I said, I'm going to, as soon as I figure out how to use the tracking on the gimbal, I will do the video of me grooming her, because then hopefully it will concentrate on her so that you'll actually be able to see what I'm doing without it being static. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, I'm hoping that it works out well. I've watched several videos now, and I think I can do it. But thinking you can do something and actually being able to do it can be worlds apart. So we'll see. I'm going to give it a try, and it's probably going to be within the next few days. I want to learn enough so that I'm doing it right. The good thing about it, from what I understand, you made a pot of goulash. Oh, that sounds so good. I haven't had that for a very, very long time. It's been, Sandy is saying Lou sleeps with me. The bed is high. He can jump, but he's afraid. He gets pissed if I roll over him. Should I say the little shit wants the whole bed? That's what Sandy said. So yeah, no, I would love to have her back in bed with me. They used to sleep in bed with me, but I couldn't risk that. I mean, I guess I could if I put a wee wee pad on the bed over the thing and let her kind of lie on that. I don't know how much I would love that. But yeah, then again, if she needed to get down, I would be afraid she would fall if she tried to get off if I was asleep. So, nah, I think I'll stick with what I have for now. Yeah, I loved having them sleep with me. I really did. And they were so relaxed, and I was so relaxed having them there. You know, it's an interesting thing. Having another being with you makes all the difference. She is I think she's about 15 pounds now. She got a little bit, heavier. But all 15 pounds of her, she's my bodyguard. She's the one who makes me feel safe. I don't feel so alone because she's there. It's a gift. It really is a gift. They give us so much more than we give them. It's such a joy. I feel blessed to have had them in my life. But I've had dogs all of my adult life, and I know it's because my father really was a Pied Piper. He really was. He used to always bring dogs home, and he would tell my mother that the dog followed him home from work. And I would fall in love with whatever the current dog was. And then I would go to school a day or two later, and I would come home, and the current dog was gone. My father would bring it home. My mother would get rid of it. I don't even want to know. Well, too late to know now. Ange, Pip's in your room with you at night? Yeah. Oh, I agree with you, Carolyn. I thank the Lord for mine as well. I think it was a great gift. And the thing is, they ask us for so little. They are such good souls. This, they're here to teach us lessons. They really are. And if only we would pay attention. They're so, so good. Well, it is a great gift. So, do any of you have anything that you want to talk about specifically tonight? Because I am going to probably shut it down in the next minute or two. It looks like it's gone close to an hour at this point, and they are so happy to see us. They really are. There's nothing like a dog wagging its tail when you come home. There were now, yeah. If only our significant others. No, Tad, take it back. But what a gift. What a gift. Yeah, it is what it is. So, okay, my friends, I thank you so much for spending some time with me tonight. I'm going to do this on a regular basis on Wednesdays, 8:30 Eastern Time, and I'm gonna still try to keep up with the others. I know July is almost over, the summer is half over, and I haven't gotten near water except when it rains. Yeah, it's amazing to me how fast summer goes and winter seems to drag on forever. Oh, funny little story before I go. There was this couple that I had become very close to for a very, very long time. Thanks so much, June. Thanks, Sandy. Um, and their daughter got married, and they come from England, so they had the wedding in, I'm assuming in London or close to London. Thanks, Ange. They had an outdoor service, and it was perfectly lovely. And you know how they do things in England with the women wearing those beautiful hats and the lovely dresses, and everything was great. The bride was about to walk down. Thank you. Thanks so much, Carolyn. The bride was about to walk down the aisle, which was this kind of, it looked like it was, I don't think it was cobblestones, I think it was bricks. And they had to wait for this duck who walked down to the music that was playing. And people sitting there started to snicker, and it became really funny. I would not be surprised if that becomes a viral video. Funny, funny. Did you see that? I thought it was hilarious. I really thought it was hilarious. Yeah, if I can find it, I will share it with you guys. It is just so special because sometimes life just makes things happen. So it was cute. Thanks a lot. All right, so take care, everybody. It was wonderful being with you. I'm glad it worked after the first few minutes. And hopefully, I'm going to get to the one with Ruby because I really want to get her done. And yeah, it was a short on YouTube, and it was just absolutely, absolutely wonderful. And knowing the people involved makes it even better. Good night, everybody. Thanks again. And I'll see you really soon. Don't forget next Wednesday, and I'm going to try to have something up before that. Take care, everybody.